Sankarshan, we meet again.
We do. Thank you for the links.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, thank you. You pointed out that we have a kind of a not a dead link, but a pretty much empty link, um, clearly in there. Hopefully, it'll help.
yes, yes. I'll take a look at this over the weekend.
And let me know if you do want to talk to Sheldon Regulars, the guy who is ma maintaining the conformance test suite. He built. I don't know if you're familiar with the Aries agent test harness.
Yeah.
He built that.
Uh,
He built that for John. He used to be my director of QA 15 years ago, so he's just a
okay.
awesome guy. I was chatting with John and Joe. Joe was hoping to make it, but he a client meeting ended up landing right on this slot. So I've asked them to do a out of band reviews. This might be a very, very short meeting. We'll see. We shall see. I'm very happy with where the spec is getting though. There's John Phillips.
Good day.
You made it. I saw Joe couldn't make it.
Oh, I can't hear anything. Why can't I hear anything?
It's probably you because I was talking with
Hold on a
Sankarshan
second.
earlier.
Just a second.
See these computer things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Zoom insisted on making my microphone the speaker.
That's good.
Why,
It's
why would you
effective.
do that? Why would that ever be a good idea?
You probably have a fancy microphone that has an out on it.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
little Yeti Nano thingy. And it's
Yeah.
actually the cause of other amusement. My mouse caused it to start behaving badly.
Huh. I was talking to a buddy of mine, my first business partner. We went to university together, but I was talking to him. I said, "Is that your Peloton behind?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, what the hell is hanging off?" He goes, "Oh, it's a mouse." I went, "What?" So it's a touchscreen, but he had a
Yeah.
wide bar on the touchscreen that wasn't working.
Yeah,
And he
yeah, yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah.
"I'm
So
not
you just
replacing it." So he took it apart and plugged a mouse in.
yeah, yeah. Or in my case, I use Zwift and a sort of manual type smart trainer, and the screen's too far away to touch, so you need to
Yeah.
use a mouse to
Yeah.
reach whatever,
Yep. Yep.
and a Bluetooth
So,
keyboard.
yep.
Because you're cycling, that's what you need, a mouse and a keyboard.
Well,
Um,
exactly. I mean, I like the touchscreen, but hey, mine's close enough and it works. So,
well,
um,
good to see you.
good to see you. You
Uh,
have a meeting coming up, right? Do you have a
I
UNCP
do.
meeting?
So I'm very
Yeah.
happy if you want to focus me on what needs to be focused on.
Yeah, let me just pull up the Sankarshan was in the morning meeting. I don't know why that just popped up,
Yeah,
but let me
Sankashan hasn't slept probably then, I would think.
yeah, sleep's optional. Sankarshan's tough. Unlike me, I managed to break a rib on Monday.
Oh, that sucks. That's
Yeah.
not good sleep for ages and stuff. No
No, it's
sneezing.
not. It sucks.
Don't
You're right.
cough.
It's the second time I've done it. One was surfing. This was skiing. I
Yeah,
had about 45 seconds of powder and then I didn't.
it doesn't get better. Unfortunately, breaking a
Yeah.
rib. It's like, oh fuck, not
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. So, but we had a great session this morning,
Okay.
your yesterday. But let me just share and show you what we had and what we went through.
Could
We
be my
largely
very early
reached,
morning. Yeah.
what's
Okay.
that?
It could have
Was
been
it?
my very early morning. I think, like 2 in the
Well,
morning.
it was seven. No, Drummond's complaining about the early morning. It's really early. It was
Oh,
7
okay. It was
a.m.
yesterday.
Pacifics.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, technically it could have been just after midnight. Who knows? Um, we went through really there are four items to discuss. One is I think you had mentioned was
Yep.
you mentioned the normative informative,
I did,
and I
and
think
you
you
fixed
already
that.
commented on that.
Yeah. I love
Yep.
the idea that this section is informative. I think that's a wonderfully positive declaration of intent.
Yes, I saw that in your comment, and it's funny because we say, and we all through the meeting, we said non-normative, but
Yeah.
both Drummond and I type informative. It's like
Yeah.
whatever.
Although
It's good.
from a linguistic point of view, non-normative is a really weird phrase, right? And
Totally.
so
Totally.
informative is a much clearer thing. But I love the idea
Yep.
that this is informative. Good.
Yep. And we did have one minor change in that some of that text actually had an all
Yeah,
caps must,
yeah,
which is literally just downgraded.
yeah.
The to-do items, you caught that as well. That's been done. There was actually, was that you? No, that was me. That was an old ticket that was sitting around. Um, Let me just pull this up here.
I mean, it looks like I was in it at some point because my little hat thing appeared just then.
Yeah. So this is all of the changes that are basically sitting in a PR ready to go.
Yeah.
Um, normative. Uh, Tim Boma had some words that helped. I'll cover that in the last part, but the rest of his tickets, we broke it up into three tickets. Sankosh has a great idea there. But some of the words were a little too they were incorrect. So Tim gave, so we got some words up that said, "Hey, AMVA is not authoritative for DMVs. It's an aggregator which shares the information from authoritative DMVs."
It's
Similarly,
very, very similar, Daryl, to what we have to do. I'm sure what you're doing with IRA and what I've been doing with Grid. It's like, no, we're not the authority. You guys are the authority. We're just
yeah,
recognizing
yep,
you're the authority.
yeah, we're just sharing your information for you,
Yeah.
type of thing. Yep. Um, the to-do items were basically hanging here. I don't even remember why they were there. They've been there for so long. My hunch was that this was an attempt to use Spec Up T with its magic references. So I'm like, yeah, forget it. So those got removed. We added the informative on security, privacy, implementation. Now, Drummond is going to add a sentence into the implementation consideration that raises the potential for other bindings. I've already shared some words with him, but we could have a DITCOM binding. We already know that I think a couple companies have already done that. So it'd be good to have a consistency on that, as well as a Drummond's the TSP work at Trust over IP may already have done that as well for TRP. But we didn't want to be committed to it because then you're not a finished standard. So that was really that's the big pull request that covers off this normative informative,
Hmm.
removes the to do items,
Hmm.
and uh, why does this permission to propose PRs? Oh, this is the giving you permission to do the PR. Okay. Those changes, as well as Tim had raised, I'll show you the ticket. He raised a ticket we decomposed into three. So one was, and this is one that Drummond actually had quite a bit of angst with, and we basically said we're going to take this one and punt it to we'll backlog it so we don't lose it, but we'll
Hmm.
close it, which is number 172. Um, because the separation in Drummond's mind of recognition and authorization are fundamentally different. Tim likes to bring things to the most abstract level, so Tim was fine with pushing that. These two here reflect what we just talked about. This is just I put the wording down here. He's
Yeah.
accepted all that, so that's already in that PR. And then there's the mention of the other bindings, which again Drummond's on the hook to do the edits on. So that was really it. That was
Cool.
the work we did today.
Well,
So
it feels as if uh, accepting that those ones that are on the backlog aren't instrumental to publication or whatever, they're
yeah,
work
they're
to be
not.
done on the
They're
next
intentionally
release,
not.
then you're finished-ish on this.
Finished-ish. That's a good phrase. Because largely speaking,
Right.
what we've talked about here is all of these tickets are going to be closed. Some are flagged for
Mm.
backlog, which means they'll come back. When we pick up the pen to start working on it again, we'll light up the ones that are backlogged. Because we want to get to the point where, the specification gets to the point where there is no more input. The next step, though, is the steering committee came up with a checklist process that says make sure the following have happened. That's likely going to create some editorial work. I don't think it's going to create any substantive breaking work, but I'll take that on this weekend or next
And
to
that's
just
the
hammer through it.
discussion I remember with Scott Perry and others
Yes.
introducing from another sort of perspective about, and in a sense that was really to empower the working groups to sort of do their own work, and then the steering committee doesn't sort of unnecessarily prevent their publication of a thing.
Yeah, or that you're not unnecessarily burdening the steering committee,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
It's
interesting.
the
It's a sort
yeah,
of yeah, yeah, yes, okay. I understand that
yeah. So
initiative is part of
I'll be
the
going through that. Drummond has to share a link with me on that. But yeah, no, we are largely
cool.
speaking this public review. We had some good input. There were what I called there was no breaking change. There was just adjustments. Nothing was contentious. Nothing was. I did use the word substantive. Everything, all input is substantive, but it was nothing broken. Nothing really caused us to have to rethink everything. And what's exciting for me is the number of folks that have a ton of work going on in trust registries right now. Like it is from 6 months ago, even uncanny how many
Yeah, it
folks.
comes
I'm
up all
sure.
the time in different terms sometimes. I was sitting in on
Yeah,
a discussion in Australia, in Sydney, where OpenID Federation is being
yeah,
very active in the space here, and they hosted a session on digital trust, as they were calling it, and they started talking about the trust lists from the IDIS
yeah,
framework and ARF and stuff,
yeah,
and so on.
yep.
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of melding that into a federated sort of concept, but I don't think, don't cough, you'll hurt yourself. But
Yeah, it
we
does.
we
It does hurt, but it's supposed to be good for me.
oh really? Coughing. Okay.
Apparently,
Um,
the worst thing you can do is wrap yourself and not cough. You're supposed to,
yeah. You
yeah,
mustn't sort of bandage her up. Yeah, you gotta
yeah, but you're supposed to
make
actually. The part of the protocol is to breathe deeply and every hour hug a pillow and cough, and I guess scream into it or something because it causes the movement. The number one concern is pneumonia because you don't breathe deeply.
yeah.
You're not emptying your lungs. So, yeah, fun.
But the, I'll just finish that point, which is, just I guess
Yep.
echoing what you're saying. Yes, trust registries in some form or other are now very, very much a common discussion point. Um, yeah,
Yeah, in
and
the
I think there's a
Federation,
way.
the Federation doesn't scare me in the least because the federations that concern me are the ones that say we are the source of all truth, as opposed
So,
to
so
these are the sources I use. Great, awesome.
I haven't honed it yet, but I've been thinking every now and then. There was a phrase way back when Wi-Fi and other things were coming to the fore, where a guy Negroponte wrote
Yep,
this idea about lily pads across a pond. That if you had enough of these systems, you could actually transfer from one Wi-Fi system to another and have a traverse the pond or across lily pads. For me, federated trust lists or federated
yeah,
systems are much like lily pads. You don't own the whole pond. You're not the pond,
yeah,
but you're a useful little lily pad,
yeah,
and therefore, I can get trust across the pond because I've got lots of lily pads that I can traverse.
yeah. You're it's 2002, that
I'm
article.
old, man. I'm old. I just got a good memory for some things I like.
I'll share that link. Yeah, and that's the idea is, and that's where in IRA people are like, well, and we actually are looking at it now. We're working on a piece for our members. It's basically a trust registry is a strategy. There are many trust registries that you need that are going to be total commodities, but they don't exist. They're not existing in a consistent form, at least. There's no benefit in 10 years of running that trust registry, but there's a lot of leadership benefit in establishing that trust registry and building your magic on top of it. There's a lot of value. And then you figure out, well, how do we keep this thing running? Is it a community asset? Is it something that we just do because we know we need it? We do it as a public service type thing. So yeah, it's coming along very, very nicely.
It's there was a very interesting question being asked that goes to the heart of what we're talking about, this federated and structural thing around uh, bringing up old issues which are still real and present around the use of CAs inside the European structure. So it's sort of
Yes.
implicit use of CAs and the demand within the framework that browsers recognize government issued CAs as a sort of
Yes.
whitelisted commodity. And that was caused the ire of many security specialists who said, well, actually, countries aren't always that well behaved. And sometimes they do bad things with their certificates
Yeah,
and create
there's a
man-in-the-middle
reason they
attacks
want to do that. Yeah.
and so on and so
Tim
on.
Boma knows a lot on that one.
And you're almost abdicate. But the funny thing is, you're kind of almost abdicating trust into a space that's not openly declared when you do that. So there's this sort of very interesting planes of understanding and trust
Yeah.
happening with these federated systems.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. Did you ever meet Jacques Latour, who was at Sierra?
no, I don't think I
He,
did.
so Sierra is the Canadian. They do the .ca domain. They're the nonprofit that the government taps for that. But Jacques was the CTO there for a long time. He's retired. Um, he was pointing out that that's a man in the middle. It's a legislated man in the middle attack because some of the members have certs that are not doing what you think they're doing.
Hmm.
Like they're literally
Yeah,
saying you have to acknowledge this CA, and yeah, they're not a healthy one, but we told you to use them because we like
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's very yeah. Oh, I've got the doorbell ringing. I should probably go. Is that
Perfect.
okay? Just
Yeah,
quickly. Yeah.
totally, totally. So, I mean, if there's any concerns you have, let us know because what we're going to do is probably put on the Discord, hey, by Monday we
Okay.
want to have these PRs
I'll be back
accepted.
in 30 seconds. Promise.
Okay, cool, cool.
1 second.
Why the hell do they have an article from that far back paywalled? This makes no sense.
Yeah, as I was just noticing that I do actually have a subscription, but yeah, you would think that that would be one that they would not paywall.
I
I just
sometimes do
I
not
just scroll
get
down like I got
because,
the image and nothing.
I'm back.
yeah,
I'm back.
the
Chaos.
economics of this is just completely bothered.
Yeah,
You guys can't hear my dogs bark, can you, when they bark?
no.
No, no, you have
It's
a
funny.
fantastic
Two
microphone that
really quite
doesn't that.
large hounds, really.
Yeah. Well, and
And they
so
go
I have
ballistic.
I bought a really clacky keyboard. Like it's like and nobody hears it. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you not hear this thing?
You got
It's
a
clearly
mechanical
it's not.
keyboard, no one's hearing it.
Yeah, and it's a loud mechanical. My wife's like, shut the door.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't come
yeah.
through
I
at
haven't
all. I'm
gone
like,
that far with the keyboard setup. I have now got the gaming mouse because, as I was saying to Sankashan, I keep wearing them out, and so a gaming mouse should suffer many clicks
should last
before.
longer. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're at the point, John, where I'm quite happy to be proposing through the Discord that we say, hey, let's get these PRs in. And
Cool. Good.
I'm going to personally take on that effort of taking these checklists once I get it from the steering committee and saying, okay, what do we need to do? Now,
I
me and my
hope
buddy
it's not going to be
Claude.
too onerous because I sort of remember it not being deliberate. In no way was it deliberately onerous for working groups. So it shouldn't be too hard, I hope, to follow through on
I
that.
think when I looked at it quickly, it didn't look brutal. It's just one of those I wish I had that before things. Like I don't think it's gonna be bad. It's not like I don't know
But
if
you could,
the ISO to IETF approach. That's Herculean.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
is like they use very, very different approaches to setting a requirement.
yeah.
And it's just a nasty, nasty piece of work.
It's I guess the other thing that struck me is that you could probably put it in as an issue or something and sort of work through it or whatever. I mean, you could drive
I'm
your
gonna get
change
my
process.
buddy Claude. My buddy
Yeah,
Claude's gonna be my helper.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. My
yeah,
my buddy's Gemini at the moment, but yeah.
yeah. At some point, John, at some point I'm going to record. I still have to find a document that's more doesn't have any like there's not anything confidential and stuff we're doing at IRA, but I'm using Claude Code, VS Code in a way that has nothing to do with coding. I have got advisors that are on my bookshelf, like Richard Rummold, Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, Seth Godin on strategy and marketing. I've got a senior management consultant who gives me advice as I go through all of these things. And I'm going to get the Claude Code to do help me on this, rationalizing our spec to the requirements. So,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
but it's
mean,
free.
that's exactly the kind of way I'm using Gemini's, and I've built coding things, but I've thoroughly reviewed them. It's not quite vibe coding and forget.
Yeah.
But
Well, this is
yeah,
more. I'm using it to advise on Markdown that I'm using
yeah,
in Google Docs.
yeah,
And it's just it helps pull me out of the weeds because we're a
yeah,
very very small shop and you get stuck in the weeds. It's just
yeah.
hard. So
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a economist I like in Australia that I know. I was used to be a near neighbor of mine. Who's a specialist in energy economics, and his university distilled the work of one very well-known, globally well-known economist into one instance of it may have been Claude, probably was an anthropic thing. But anyway, they basically created the persona, let's anthropomorphize this, of that
Yeah.
particular economist, and then asked that persona to critique the work of four Monash University economists who'd written about a topic. And the actual economist, the physical one, was totally impressed by the way that the AI
Yeah,
version of him critiqued
probably
this
did a
paper
better
in the
job.
style of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was sitting here trying to nail down, which is now the IRA card protocol strategy that we're using. And it's really hard to flip between a book and stuff. And I said, wait a second. I hear about people using QA and architects. And I'm like, you are Richard Rummelt. And boom, it
Yeah,
created
yeah,
an
yeah,
agent
yeah,
for
yeah.
me. And the guidance it gave me, I was like, oh my God. I had goosebumps. I'm like, this is amazing. And
It is
it changed
shocking.
my game. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's yeah, so you can get your board, create a virtual board of various personalities, sort
Yeah.
of yeah. I gotta
Yeah. So I
go.
got
I've got to jump on to the
Yep.
next one.
Perfect. Yeah, I gotta go too. And Sankarshan, thank you very much for showing up both. And I'm real excited, guys, on getting this thing out.
Good
It's
stuff.
been a long
Well done,
haul.
mate. Yep.
Thank
Good,
you.
well done
Awesome.
there. Look after yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers. No
Bye.
coughing. Bye.